U.S. sales manager for Brawo Systems. I have Niels here, who's from Brawo Systems as well. He's our head technician as well as head trainer. And then Walter as well is the operations manager for Apex CIPP, who's our exclusive distributor in the United States. What we're doing today is we're doing a Magnavity shot, which is our Brawo Systems UV cured CIPP liner. So what we're going to do is we're starting at 4-inch here. We're going to do a 90-degree in cast iron, and then we're going to transition to a 6-inch transition. So what we're using today is the Brawo 3D liner, DN 100 to 150, so 4-inch to 6-inch. It'll do that 90-degree with no issue in 4-inch, and then it'll expand out to 6-inch, so it'll look really nice at the end. There'll be no seams or any wrinkles or anything like that. So what they're going to do right now is they've got everything set up. They've wet out the liner already. Michelle was nice enough to take a video of us wetting out the liner and rolling it up into the drum using the silicone spray for lubrication. So you'll see that afterwards, probably the next day or two on their Instagram page as well, so you can see how we set everything up. But the drum's already loaded up, so I think we're ready to go, guys. Right. So what they're doing right now, you can see here, I've got our sluice here. So what that's designed to do is to keep the air pressure in the liner when we have to open it up to attach that magnetic head to the LED head. The magnetic cut to the LED head. So you can see really low pressure. We're inverting, I think, what are we at? 3 psi? 3 psi, so it's walking around, so it's coming out now. We have the calibration hose here just to keep the light off of the resin if there's any resin. It's already made the 90-degree turn in the cast iron. So now it's just coming up here and they'll start going to the stretch in a minute here for the 6-inch. So while they're inverting it, some nice features about the Magnavity. You can actually connect to the Magnavity on your phone. It's got a QR code so you can track everything in your phone. It keeps track of things like temperature and pressure as well. So Niels here is closing the sluice. So what that's doing is keeping the air inside the pipe. The liner's inverted and pressurized, so it's up against the pipe. It's really important in vertical stacks especially, so you keep air inside the pipe and the pipe inverted. So they're deflating the drum now, so that way they can actually take out the bypass here, and they're going to attach a metal cup that we've already attached to the end cap. We're going to attach that here to the LED head, which has an electromagnet inside it. So Niels right here is squeezing the head down a little bit. Walter's attaching that metal cup to the LED head. Niels is going to press one button on there, which turns that electromagnet on, and now that electromagnet is going to help it attach to that metal cup, and that metal cup is going to pull the LED head all the way down to the end. So there's no pushing. You can feed it a little bit, you can give it a little bit of a push. It's not going to damage the hose pipe, but the predominant amount of work is going to actually be done by the inversion process itself, pulling that LED head into place. So we're all connected up. Niels opens the sluice again. The drum starts to inflate, repressurize. yesterday afternoon. We put it on the coat glue and just they heated this glue. We just did a hot air gun on it just to secure it. And then it's ready to go the next day. And as I said, we went out the liner this morning. So again, there's no chemical, it's a one-part chemical. So there's no time, there's no run, there's no chemical reaction. All it needs to do is wait for that light to get out with the light to touch. And now it starts to turn close.
I think so. We're at 0.
All right. So we just pulled the LED head back. We're going to reattach it to that magnetic cup.
Nope. Need a little bit more pressure. Yeah. That is the one beautiful thing about UV.
Yep. You got so what we say is with UV you've got time on both sides. So you've got time for the curing. It cures faster than traditional methods like ambient, steam, or hot water. But almost more importantly is you have time on the front end. So you're not rushing. You can see we had a challenge, a setback. It happens in the field all the time. We're able to fix it without having to panic, without having to pull out the liner that you traditionally would have had to do if you had steam, ambient, or hot water.
Closed, open, open.
So we'll restart the inversion process, putting that puck back through. So again, Niels is feeding it, he's not pushing it, but that LED head is going now through. We're out? All right, so we've now got it all the way down to the end. So what Niels will do now is it's a simple process of just selecting options. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to select the liner type. So with this, it's a Brawo 3D, and he's going to do DN 100 to 150. So again,
I've done it before.
it's selected already. Perfect. Niels did it already while we were inverting. So now what he's going to do, he's just clearing out the system to make sure there's no error codes or anything like that on it. We're good to go. He'll turn on the light with it. Again, simple press of a button. Light is now on. You can see the light there is turned on. What he'll do next is he'll detach the magnet. So again, pressing a button to detach the LED head from the metal cup, and then he'll start the inversion process. So he's told it that it's starting in 6 inches. So now it starts the inversion process. The machine calculates what the retraction speed should be, and it self-retracts on its own. So you can see it's pulling back now.
And we use the SDR right there so that it would separate and that you could see the light train coming through in between that as well as this little patch. That way you don't just have to stare at pipe, but you can see it actually coming through for the demo purposes.
but. So the nice thing is, on there, you've got a camera facing both ways. So what you're able to do is you're able to watch as you're curing, so you can see the liners being cured. If you've got something where you have connections, so you've got a branch line coming in, or you have a 90-degree bend like we have here, you're able to look, you can swap the camera. It's a simple toggle button. It's just one button, and you're able to switch to look to see what you've done, to see what you have going forward. If you do have that branch connection, we have an option where you can actually, it's called a turtle function. You press the button, one button, and it actually slows that retraction speed down so it can sit there and go a little bit slower as it goes past those connections. So when you're reinstating with a Dan cutter, you're able to get it so that way the resin is cured up into that branch line as opposed to being all goopy. If you really wanted to, you could actually stop the inversion or pause the retraction process. So that way it sits on that branch line a little bit longer if you're a little bit more concerned about it. But the turtle function is probably your best bet. Right now we're in 6-inch pipe. We're curing at 1.64 feet per minute. So it'll speed up when you go down into 4-inch. It'll cure at about 2 feet a minute. You have the option to select with or without calibration hose. So for this, we did it with an end cap, so we didn't have to select calibration hose. If you were to use something like an airbag liner that you can reuse multiple times, I think it's up to 6 times you can use the airbag liner.
6 times.
You actually would select calibration hose, and that would adjust the retraction speed so that way you're getting a fully cured liner. So, but Michelle, I don't know if you can see really clearly what he built. What Walter built here is we've got 4-inch PVC. We have 6 or 4-inch 90-degree bend used cast iron. So Walter cleaned it yesterday with a pick-out milling machine. So he cleaned it out nice and smooth. You want to get it as smooth as you possibly can. We all know what cast iron looks like when it's used. So you're trying to get it. You basically want to make sure it's descaled. There's no sharp edges or anything like that. But liner made the 90. The LED head made the 90, and that used cast iron. It went through with the magnet, so there was no challenge with the metal. You can see right now it's coming up here.
As you can see, we're getting right here to this little separation. We usually, like I said, we use a PVC reducer just so that this SDR would jump around and we can see this for you. But as you can see, the light's coming up to it. You're going to watch it cook off and then continue on down to this 4-inch. If we had a PVC piece right here, it would have expanded up to this ID. But just for demo purposes, we wanted a good visual of it coming through. And it's going to go on by. It's already past me. It's rock hard already. It got here about 30 seconds ago, and now it's fully cured. Moving on into the 90 now. You'll see it peak right here next. And a lot of questions we get asked, can it navigate 90s? It can. That's why we have this cast iron 90 in here. We're always showing it off in PVC, so this is the most important thing for guys in the field. Can it get through cast iron in the ground? So that's why we have this piece here, like he was alluding to earlier. Just because it's what we're here to do. We're here to rehabilitate this. It'll do 3-inch 45.
It'll do a 45 and 3-inch straight pipe 3-inch with the nano head, and it'll do a 90-degree bend in 4-inch.
And we also have something in the works coming up where we can start carrying out 2-inch and 3-inch with the same machine. And it's just as simple and easy as this setup is too. All right, now we're getting to this little jumper section right here, going into the cast iron. Lights reached it. I can see it starting to cook, and I'm hard on the inner side right now. Hard. Obviously, the top side probably cooked off due to the sunlight hitting it, but the underside, it's hard, and it's through that, entering in the cast iron now.
So if you want, we can actually show here on the camera. So I can swap the camera here, so I can actually watch the LED head here come through that 90. So again, like I said, if you're worried about, if you've got things like branch lines, you're able to see what's coming up. You know roughly the distance. You don't have to be exact. The nice thing about Brawo Liner, if you haven't used it before, like we said, it's very flexible, but the nice thing for reinstatement is it dimples really nicely. Again, at low pressure. So we inverted it 3 psi. We're curing right now at just under 5 psi. So again, really low pressure, really low, but you're still able to get that nice dimpling. So when you are reinstating with a Dan cutter, you're able to see exactly where it is, go in, cut it out really easily, instead of having to have exactly, okay, I know it was at 42.3, you know, it's, oh no, I went to 42.5 and now I've hit the, you know, the liner where I didn't want to hit, so now I've got to either go in there and patch it or...
It's always nice to see dimples.
So it always just, everything to make your job, you know, the guys in the field, their job easier.
So now we're through the cast iron 90, moving into this little PVC section right here. And in less than 5 minutes, this 20-foot section of liner has been shot and cured.
So it's got a couple other really nice safety features on it. So that LED head, when it gets into here, the light will automatically turn off. Typically you're going to turn it off beforehand because you're watching it come in, but it will automatically turn off as a safety feature. The computer itself, so the control box, basically it has a computer inside it, so you're able to it keeps track of all that information while you're curing. So, you know, LED head temperature, the pressure that you're installing in, the hours on the LED head. So the LED head it'll give you a notification at 500 hours that you're due for some maintenance. But it's designed to last 500 hours, which, what did we say that was? About 15 kilometers of liner.
Yeah.
So a little under 10 miles of liner that you're doing with that LED head. That's how long it's designed to last. Obviously taking care of it, keeping it clean, using that silicone spray as the lubricant will keep the LED head lasting longer. Also, we say you need a dryer because you want cool, dry air. You don't want anything oily or any sort of, you know, that nasty from maybe a compressor that's a little bit older. So you want to have a dryer attached to it so that way you're able to keep that dry air cool and dry. So again, it's got multiple safety features. We actually went through the NRTL certification. We're the only ones who have it in North America. So that's OSHA's independent laboratory to testing for all the electrical. So again, it's an extra safety function that we've gone through for rigorous testing to make sure that we're putting the safest machine out into the field. So LED head, as long as it's kept under 70 degrees Celsius, again, if it goes above that, which is 158 degrees Fahrenheit, if it will go over, if that LED head goes over, you know, you're in Florida, it's 95 degrees outside, it's a little bit warmer. It has a safety feature to shut off so it won't overheat and break the LED head. Basically, you just run it under cool air until it cools down, and then you can turn it back on and continue on with your
And that's
cure.
one of the great things about the machine, too, is it protects itself from us. It doesn't break on you in the field. It shuts itself down so that it can continue to cure at a later date whenever you figure out what air went wrong or what's going on with the machine. We've had it to where our compressor was really acting up and we were having a lot of hot air and it wasn't getting good airflow. I was still able to cure because I paused the curing set. I'm not rushing because it's only going to cure under UV. Paused everything and then started it afterwards once we ironed out the problem. And I didn't even realize the problem was coming. The machine told me there was a problem. You're getting too hot. It shut down.
And the other nice thing is the LED heads on here are interchangeable. They're just plug and play. So it's just two screws. You just can pop it out, take it off. If it needs its maintenance, Apex CIPP is a certified maintenance facility. So you would send your LED head. It's about that big, so it fits into any sort of FedEx box or anything like that. You can overnight it to them. If you don't have a spare head, they can overnight a spare head back to you. The machine recognizes that you put a new LED head on and will start keeping track of that. So again, designed to make it as easy as possible for you guys in the field. So LED head is back in the garage, liner is fully cured, and you're just on, we'll pull back the end cap, and you'll be on to your next job.
Yeah, that ain't breaking.
So sign up. So again, if you guys do have questions, you can go on our website. It's bravosystemsusa.com. It's bravosystem-usa.com, apexcipp.com. Either of us can answer any questions. You know, feel free to reach out if you need anything. We're always here to help. Thanks everybody for taking part and watching on Instagram Live. And if you're in the No Dig show next week up in Rhode Island, we'll be there as well. Walter and I will be there. So feel free to stop by the booth, and we'd be happy to see you. Have a great day, guys.
Bye. Thank you.